This video is going to show you how to customize the style of your territories. So, what we'll do first is we'll open up a map. And once you have your map open, you'll want to add territories onto the map if you don't already have them. Once you do that, you'll come over here to the left-hand sidebar and you'll click on the drop-down menu next to the territory folder. And then we'll click on Style. So once this light box is opened, you'll see the different options we have to customize the styling. We can either change the fill and border color, the fill and border opacity, as well as the border width. So one thing to be aware of is if you do this at a folder level, then the changes will apply to all the shapes within that folder. So in this case, if I were to accept these settings, all the states would then become red. So I'm going to show you what that would look like by clicking OK. So now, as you can see, all the states have become red. If we want to change individual states, we can either come over here to the drop-down menu and expand this folder and see each of the individual states within it and follow the same steps by clicking on the drop-down menu and then selecting Style, or we can right-click on any of these shapes and then select Style. And then once we do that, we can change the fill color as well as the border and then the fill and border opacities. So then we'll click OK. Now you can see that Utah's blue. We'll change Kansas and we'll make Kansas green. And we can continue that process to make each of the individual shapes a different color if we'd like. Now there's also another way that you can customize your styling. So you'll come back up here again to the folder level and then click on Style. And then we're going to go to the heat map section. So what this is going to do is it's going to color each of the individual shapes of this territory folder as if it were a heat map. So the first thing we would need to do is select a data set. So I'll click here and then I'm going to use the sales data set. Alright, and then we can choose how we want to color it, whether we want to use location density, which is just the sheer number of locations, or based off of some of the values in the data set. So we'll click on data set values and we'll do the average of one of the quantitative columns in our spreadsheet, which in this case I'll choose annual sales. What the percentile groups allows us to do is break up our data into a specific number of groups. So if we do 0, all of the territories will be colored differently. If we do 2, then the top 50% will be colored one color and the bottom 50% another. And then 4 would be the top 25%, the following 25% would be a different color, etc. So we'll do 4 percentile groups, and then you can choose the gradient here. You can choose how the border is going to look, what color it is, the opacity of it, as well as the width. And then we can choose whether or not to include a legend. So we'll just leave all those the same and click OK. And there you go. Now we've created a heat map for our territories. And that's how simple it is to customize your territories in Mapline.